13 life tips, tip number 13. Tip number 13. Tip number 13 is a doozy. So, we're going to take an existing piece of, I don't know, book or something that exists, and we are going to improve it. We're going to take a thing that it exists, and then we're going to improve it. So, it could be a movie, it could be a company, if you want to get super advanced, or it can be a book. When was the last time you did a book report? That's what tip 13 is. And it's going to involve tips 1 through 12 organized in a way in this similar to the 99 Days of Christmas, where you would take certain days of Christmas and then DJ them together. Kind of like you're DJing together APIs. Yes, application protocol interfaces. And so you're taking these things such as speed reading, such as PQRST, such as networking with the author, such as motivational listening, and overcoming dyslexia together into a way that puts your first pen to paper, which now you have because we took a little break in order to get you two people up and going. Cool, right? So, you've identified the book that you want to edit because it's going to double your career. No exaggeration. So, you take this business book that you've kind of read non motivationally, and you've thought to yourself, I kind of agree with some of the book. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with the book, and I definitely don't know how I'm going to 2x myself from this book. On this next read, now you're going to be like, I can't believe this magic trick is going to work, because you are unwittingly, wittingly transitioning from non-believer on this Sunday to a believer of, I can't believe libraries work. I can't believe this stack of dead tree works. I can't believe that successful people actually do read. And this will be the first time that I've used a YouTube video on Instagram to propel forward. This is how. The old way was a book report. A book report is a summary of a book that you did not read and also you did not write. Good morning. How are you? It's good to hang out with you here on internets. We're talking about 13 life tips for 13 life tips. Life tip number 13, going backwards, is succinctly how to read a book. We're talking about a book report. How did people used to do a book report? You're doing a written assignment. Good morning. How are you guys? Yes, Happy New Year. We're doing a book report on a book that we half read in a book report that we did not write, right? We're kind of using technology to write, and we're offloading and we're delegating thinking and doing to a computer. Does this sound familiar and bad? Yes, because that's what the algorithm does to us, where we get shown videos based on Steve Chen and Chad Hurley's algorithm from 1998. Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, YouTube. Is the algorithm perfect for us? I don't know. Over on Instagram, where I did all 99 days of the 99 Days of Christmas, where I'm on day number 27, day number 27 is coding our own brain versus letting a computer algorithm tell us what to think and how to proceed ahead. This might be the first time that we've used this video, to ourselves get better using a book that we already own. Oh, is this guy, Chinese guy in a cowboy hat, gonna sell me a book? No, I'm not here to sell you shit all. In fact, I'm not even selling you on liking things, but I am judging you on your ability to like things that are obviously good for you. Not subscribing to me because, oh, I want to learn about what they don't teach you in school. Okay? That's not what this video is about. This video is about taking things that already exist and making them slightly better by liking things without judgment. And let's say we do judge it a little bit, but we like it to move ourselves forward, so that way we aren't afraid of everything. Because right now, in today's climate, it's super easy to be afraid of a lot of things. We're going to find a book. So look around your house and pick up a book, preferably a business book, that is around your house. This is not me being open-minded, because my brain is always open because of tip number 5, which is PQRST, preview, question, read, summarize, test. So, in the comment, what's a book that you own that you haven't read? What's a book that you own that you pretend read, that you talk about having read, but you yourself have maybe read like half? This is the old way of a book report. You write a summary of a book that you kind of understood, and then you don't get an A, right? That's just the math of it, because only the top students get an A. This is how to get an A triple plus. Exactly. This is how to get an A triple plus by reading into the book and then doing a sequel, such as the book that you mentioned. There are prequels and sequels and addendums to an event that happened in the 40s. Am I talking about the 2040s? No, I'm talking about the 1940s. People are still writing addendums and edits to an event that occurred in Germany. We can do the same thing with a book that allows us to press forward with our careers versus solving something that happened during World War II. Because guess what? With the internet on, there will be no World War III. Because the internet's on. The first thing you do when you try to control a population is you manipulate the algorithm. Meaning, what news do you get to hear? Do you like how I take things in the comments that could derail this conversation and I route it back in? Because what's the first thing a dictator does? Knocks down the radio towers, kills the television transmission. Guess what? Over on X, there is peer-to-peer education. We are now the news broadcasters and news curators. Guess what? There's no more military convincing us to go into a war for a reason that is soft at best. And this is why nobody needs to trust anybody anymore, because we are able to code our own brains perfectly right into step number 13 of the 13 tips within the 99 days of Christmas. God, this video is just perfect along with your comments. I'm glad that we're able to mind meld, which is how we're going to press ahead in this book report in the real world. What they don't teach in school, my channel, about doing a book report, which is maybe something that you didn't crank out 2 books per month. Maybe you read 2 books all last year. Maybe you read no books. This could be the first time. This could be the first time where we used to be sheep and now we're going to shepherd. But before we shepherd other people into giving us attention or money or whatever we're trying to get other people to do or anoint us, we're going to first shepherd ourselves. How Australian shepherd am I to take your comments and throw them and shepherd them right into the topic of this video, which is 13 tips for 2025 as part of the 99 days of Christmas. That's a sequel too, because have you heard the song, The 12 Days of Christmas? Yeah. Well, I took those 12 days and I went ahead and added a bunch more because now we're on day number 27. My Christmas decorations are still up. So you can continue to be a sheep saying the same things that you've already typed out already. Or you can mind meld here with tip number 13, answering the question of sheep. How many paper books did you read last year? Can you focus? If you can't focus, that's okay, because I will be focused enough for both of us. Let's go. Let's field goal. So, old way book report summary doesn't really get you to first base in the real world. New way, the new way is awesome. You take a book, let's use Warren Buffett's Snowball. It's a book that is over 10 years old. You can buy it used. And everybody who's going to give you a job, answer the question. What book? What book do you have that you read? Or did you not read a book? Thank you for not answering the question because you're afraid to answer the question of what book did you read? So, Snowball, written by Alice, is a book that is in circulation. You can borrow it from the library. Gabe, answer the question of what book did you read last year? You seem super smart. Your comments are A+, okay? You write super well. And as far as YouTube goes, you are at the pinnacle of intelligence because you're right there. I see you have smart questions, okay? I see you have genius questions, Gabe. Gabe Planet, okay? Like, you have genius stuff if you focused to set a positive intention versus, oh, I'm just going to get on Larry's Insta stream because if I just view his stream every day, maybe he'll say yes to dating me. Who's guilty of that? Who's guilty of that? That happens. Let's take that attractiveness and route it into something positive. I'm not addressing YouTube. It's just on Instagram. It's just giant waves of vagina throwing putty. Throwing putty. Hey, Larry, here's a Hail Mary. Will you come visit Miami? Hello. You know I already live in Miami, right? Exactly. No sexting. Let's field goal. Book report. Snowball. This is how everyone reads a book. Stop me, laugh at my jokes, know that what I'm going to say is geniusly true. This is how everybody reads a book. They buy the book after 4 times. No, you don't have to get a doctorate. No, you don't have. Well, if you're going to already do it, do it. Yeah. So tip number 1 is my PhD solving dyslexia in child psychology, which is exactly tip number 13. Do you love this? This is my PhD thesis in solving dyslexia. Tip number 1. 13 is this. Snowball. This is how everybody uses books, including books being cited for doctoral thesis, where you're citing books that you read snippets on because that's just how a doctoral thesis is assembled. Ditto the faux doctoral thesis, which is actually genius, which should get a honorary PhD, the 9-page PDF of Satoshi Nakamoto for the inception of Bitcoin. And so this 9-page PDF is doctoral worthy. And this is not undermining people's intelligence. This is springboarding it. Did I just tell you chapter 66 of Snowball? Yes. I wonder if my book Snowball's around here. Oh my God. Coincidentally, you know what? I'm just gonna leave this book right here. It'll probably fall, but that'll just be more drama. Yes. In the same way that I'm not going to say Elon Musk should be getting an honorary aerospace engineering degree for landing a rocket, okay? Ass first. I'm going to hit springboard in a second, but he should get an honorary PhD. But let's say you're not an Elon fan. Are you going to deny? Are you a Wright brothers denier? Wright brothers, they invented airplane flying. Orville and Wilbur Wright. This gets me going because when they invented airplane engineering, aerospace engineering, the Smithsonian was like, nope, we politically don't like dudes from Ohio who moved to North Carolina for cheaper bike materials. We don't do that. We're not going to give them credit. New Haven, okay, Yale University, still has not given Orville a bachelor cum laude. Cum laude is hilarious, okay? It's hilarious because that's what Stanford should have given me, even though I went to the University of Illinois. Did I just explain to you how every Stanford astronaut came from the University of Illinois who studied aerospace engineering? Yes. Is this a conspiracy theory? Nope. It's just me realizing, hey, every astronaut went to the University of Illinois. Mike Hopkins, not only did he study aerospace engineering, he was also good at reading books and played a sport, a revenue sport. Football, astronaut, Stanford. Does that sound like somebody that you're meeting right now? Maybe. This is springboard. Because thank you for telling me that's a good point, because we get to stay off of Instagram where hot women throwing putty. Oh, what are you doing for New Year's? What are you doing after? What are you doing? Why don't we make some money so that way you throw me a first-class ticket to Bali for $17,500 and then we can connect up with that real estate mogul because he doesn't do Instagram. How real did this video just get? Can we focus? Congratulations. Springboard, chapter 66. Before we go into 66, let's go into chapter 65. What is 65? It's the chapter that Alice and Warren didn't write. Page 117. Right now I'm showing off, but who cares? Page 123. Those 2 pages lead into chapter 65. What happened on page 117? Warren Buffett got into college by reading a book. Who wrote that book? Ben Graham. Where does Ben Graham teach? He teaches at Columbia. That's chapter 65. Page 117, how he connected to Ben Graham. Oh, he read a book. Page 123, he wrote a letter. Do you see how this is tip number 13 now? Do you see how this is tip number 13 now? Because chapter 65 is Columbia as your springboard. Alice's book only has 64 chapters. It only has 64 chapters. We are assembling chapter 65 together because we want to get admitted into grad school for some reason. I don't think you should go. I don't think you should go. Chapter 14 of what they don't teach you at Stanford Business School is you actually want to get into Stanford GSB, go for a month, and then quit. Because guess what? Stanford calls you an alum. Let me repeat that because this is financial advice. You want to get into Stanford and then quit because then they call you an alumni. Yes, that is financial advice. When you quit a college like the college I went to, they call you a dropout, University of Illinois. But when you go to Stanford and you quit after your freshman year, they call you an alumni. Do I make these rules? No, that's why I make the channel what they don't teach you in school. Chapter 65, me and you. The book is under 20 bucks. It's good for life hacking because your ROI for the 20 bucks is in this video, which is titled 13 Tips. 99 Days of Christmas. Day number 4 is over on Instagram. Day number 4, if you're taking notes. Why did I put day number 4 over on Instagram? Because I want you to open up the app, get distracted from all the putty and other things that distract you, and then be distracted. And then I have to deal with fewer direct messages because why didn't you just watch the video that explained it all in the first place? Chapter 65. Columbia University as an example, similar to Stanford University, similar to whatever college, similar to whatever college or whatever job you're trying to get. And yeah, the economy's super messed up right now. But guess what? You've just now met an elite life hacker. And I'm motivated to fuck around and help out. F-A-H-O. Faho. I'm Faho. Do you like how I can come up with cool shit? Okay. It's just not my black and white student athlete brothers that can conjure up words. Okay. Faho. Fuck around and help out. Faho. In fact, that's my new social presence. Chapter 65, Columbia. Columbia as a springboard via another guy who teaches at Columbia, Steve Blank. Larry, did he write an expensive textbook that is overpriced? Yeah. Have you been to college where you've had to purchase overpriced textbooks? Yeah. Is an earlier version of his textbook used and cheap? Yeah. Do you see why now if I go to Omaha and meet one of his inner sanctum, Warren Buffett's inner sanctum, I'll be like, oh, it's nice to meet you, Steve Hilton, okay, who's the general manager of the Marriott, who hosts the Warren Buffett Berkshire Hathaway Annual Conference. Yes, I went from Crasher to VIP. Is that guacamole recipe number 4, right out of chapter 4 of What They Don't Teach at Harvard Business School, Mark McCormack? Do you see how you're in competition for money with guys like me who are incredibly specific in the athlete world? If you're playing quarterback, good luck beating me out. You're lucky there's only 5 years of football eligibility, or else I'd still be playing. You know who else has another year of eligibility? Tom Brady. Guacamole recipe number 4, right out of chapter 4 of What They Don't Teach at Harvard Business School, Mark McCormack. So I'm going to DJ 5 books into chapter 13, which is Steve Blank. This is chapter 65. Steve Blank is a professor, Columbia Technology Entrepreneurship. His class is called Springboard. Do you like how this video, I took the time to make it funny? Like, I'm about to tell you some of the most operative principles of how the world works, yet I'm also able to take time into making it funny. His book is used on my friend Jeff's website. Used. It's his website. It's this geographical website theme, but he sells books. Euphrates, Tigers, Amazon. He sells this book used on Amazon. Oh, I laugh every time. True story. That's my customer service rep at Amazon. When you lose a package, you're like, oh man, some porch pirate stole my package. What do? I first wait 4 or 5 days to hope that the porch pirate didn't steal literally my package of shit and then return it, because I also drop perfect deuces and put them in the packages. But let's say that it is actually stolen or rerouted somehow wrong. I will email my buddy jeff@amazon.com. Am I dropping real cell phone numbers and real email addresses? Yeah. Tom Brady earlier, he's the one who said 415-612-1737, okay? He's the one who said it on ESPN. Amazon. Buying this book and connecting this book to this book is us doing chapter 65. Larry, do you have a book that I can buy? Yeah, but we're not talking about what they don't teach you at Stanford Business School. We're focusing on this video, 13 tips inside of the 99 Days of Christmas, specifically on this video, which is the 13 tips. Why is it called 13 tips? Because yesterday I did 3 tips on how to be a vagina whisperer in a nightclub while being heterosexual. It was a safe space for heterosexuals because that is hilarious. How many times did I mention Jesus Christ in that video? 6. So today, for 3, I didn't want to redo my board, so I went ahead and changed it to 13 life tips. 13 life tips versus just 3. Because yesterday was how to pick up women doing pickup artistry in Miami. Today is 13 tips. 65. Chapter 65. Oh, are you just a big numbers guy? Yes. Definitely. I've written songs about it. That's song 2 and song 3. Ain't human. You ain't human. Exactly. So let's focus. We'll answer your question with, oh, what were the highlights from yesterday's nightclub hacking? What they don't teach you in school. Are you not are you not a subscriber, or have you not liked it? That's embarrassing. You know what? I'm not needing it for me. I'm needing to code your brain for, can you pay a real world tuition? And I'm not talking about throwing me a tip. In fact, I think my tip jar is closed. I'm talking about, can you be thankful? That's the first type of tuition that you get paid, or sorry, that you pay out. Do you see how I'm juxtaposing the payment? Because I'm actually getting more value from this than you're getting from this. And that's kind of sacrilegious. Chapter 65, tip 13, which is, we get to benefit from the fact that Alice's book only has 64 chapters. What we can do is conjure up Steve Blank's book connected to Warren Buffett's book, so that way we write an advanced book report. Where do we write this at? We don't even need to write it out on WordPress or on X. We can simply move ahead. Thank you for moderating. We can simply do a 90-second YouTube video. Have you ever published one YouTube video? Have you? This is how to do your first YouTube video, while we also wrap up the dangling existing things that are unfinished thoughts. We are going to ship our first video in the same way that I got my friend Shelby Haas to upload her first video. And this is why you can post your first non-singing song as a, what do I need to do as a songwriter to get slightly better at business? Maybe I need to read a book on the music business, which is the Music Business Bible book. So now we buddy the Music Bible business book in order for us to sell one song into a movie trailer where we get paid more than $200. Have you ever gotten paid $200 for one song? Have you ever gotten paid $200 for one song? It's probably no, okay. Or you can just make excuses for the word no. But let's say you've never gotten paid $200 for one song. Let's get you paid $202 for one song that goes into a trailer. There you go. Are you a subscriber? Have you liked it? Will you commit to selling one song for $202? Chuck is hilarious because Chuck brings up this song. My phone's not so smart, it's really just breaking my brain. I could go all country. I can even go chinky with that song. It's just that I'm currently paying thousands of dollars to a voice coach to get a Chinese accent, because it turns out I'm the whitest guy on the planet and definitely the most American person in the United States. Can we commit to $202? And why is that like number still at 2? Why is that like number still at 2? Do you like how these small group rooms are full accountability? Because the way I run stuff on Instagram video is I know every one of my friends. How life hacker am I? I'm not allowed to say the brand, but let's say that I am always with my Canon. 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 Think ambidextrous Canon. You know, like in Hong Kong movies where like they're doing this, okay? That doesn't work. That's like kung fu fighting with a gun. That's not gun stability. That's not nozzle discipline. Do you get it, Cannon? Let's roll. $202. That like was painful. But guess what? You are going to get $202. Think less jamming while we're jamming ahead in this 13 tips. There's a music festival coming up, South by Southwest. This video is about to get crazy. Comment that you have a pen because it's going to be crazy awesome, but only if you mind meld with me using a pen. So comment pen and I will get you into an amazing mental state of mind. Comment pen. Chuck, get a pen. Ain't human, get a pen. David, get a pen. Come on, get a pen. Comment pen. I don't have to do this. I don't have to give you this genius thing. I don't. Oh, good job. Good job. How Sunday Psycho is this? Take a screenshot. Seriously, take a screenshot. Oh, wait, here's a better screenshot. Take a screenshot. I wish I could take a screenshot. In fact, one of you guys take a screenshot and then send it to me, larry@duck9.com. Because this is Sunday Psycho right here. Look at how many copies of the same book I have. Because this is going to get you into South by Music Festival while selling a song for that goes into a movie trailer for $202. Hey, Ain't Human, do you have a pen? It's just going to be me and Chuck. Chuck, since Ain't Human doesn't have a pen, what conference or music festival do you want to go to? For free. We're playing here. I'm not buying you anything. You're buying it for yourself. You're coding your own brain. Ain't Human now got nervous and doesn't want to get a pen, so we won't do South by Music. I'm jacked into the internet. There's no way my internet's slow. How's my sound quality? How's my sound quality? Fine, we'll do South by if you're not going to comment what conference. Those four books. If you don't have 4 times $25, you definitely have 2 times $5. This is how to use used books to get people to throw money at you. Over on Instagram, why do women throw putty so hard at me? Is it because I'm that hot? No. Is it because they want to come to church with me? Sometimes, actually. But that's also kind of not why. The reason is I am the vagina whisperer, not pussy magnet vagina whisperer. I'm the vagina whisperer that shows you how money works. Look at Shelby Haas. She launches her first video and she has more subscribers than I do. That's funny to me for a multitude of reasons. But let's say you're ain't human and you do music video uploads. Well, you need to do one video that is a business video that is just 3 pages of content. I would just do the 3 tips that you learned out of the 13 tips. Do you see how it's just like a book report, but not a report written? It's just a YouTube report where you summarize my video on YouTube. You can even just do a reaction clip video and call yourself having done tip number 5 in the 13 tips of day number 27 of the 99 Days of Christmas, which is taking a clip of this video to apply yourself in a snowball. Come on, that comedic callback is awesome. Because what is a snowball? It is a ball of frozen water compressed, rolling down a hill that turns into an avalanche. When was the last time you made a money snowball that you tried to roll down a hill? That's why vagina throws money at me. That's why I'm batting 1,000 when it comes to blonde billionaire women in the United States of America. Is that blonde women, they feel not entitlement, they feel a level of abundance. So I just DJ'd that abundance into monetary abundance. And blonde women connect with me because they're like, this person's got abundance too. And some of the things I say sound crazy, such as, these 2 books will help you. These 4 books will help you. Like, so what happens is they hear a bunch of crazy, awesome things, and they sit there and they keep listening. They keep listening. Do you like how I scream at and yell at females on Instagram while I'm focused here for my real work, my YouTube live feed? Women will just sit there saying, maybe he won't help my business, but oh my God, he is so easy on the eyes. And if I sit here listening long enough, maybe he'll fuck me. And then a epiphany happens. Oh my God, this guy actually does know what he's talking about. Here I am thinking he's just a public school educated blowhard with a lot of sexual energy with BDE, rare in Asians. Oh, maybe I'll be his first white girl. Every white girl and hot black girl says it. Oh, maybe I can be his first. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pussy magnet. Forked from vagina whisperer. Forked, meaning coding separate. While we use 2 books. Chuck, it would help if we got specific. If we're not specific, we're general. And if we're general, like, we're not going to go anywhere. So, Chuck, what specific conference do you want to go to? While Chuck is, or anybody who's in this live feed, coming up with what conference they can go to double their career or increase their career, over on X, I did an 18-minute video inside the Y Combinator Business Accelerator feed on 18 minutes of how to blow your nose. That video caused quite a stir. While Chuck is coming up with the conference that they want to go to, this is a micro class, not a master class. This is a micro class on this particular magic trick that requires no money but helps you become massively resourceful. Grab a pen, because after I say this story or this protocol or this signature business recipe, you're going to think, as I move my microphone perfectly so that way you can hear everything. You're going to want to grab a pen, because these things are going to sound so easy and common sense to do that if you mess up the order, you're going to not fail, but you won't succeed spectacularly. This is why vagina gets thrown at me, because women will talk to other women, and then women will literally throw themselves at me for doing group entrepreneurship exercises. Is this gender reversal entrepreneurship exercising? Yes. Is this why I'm batting 1,000 when it comes to blonde billionaires in the United States? Yes. Is this an accident? Sort of accidental. We're on a situation where I was talking about entrepreneurship, and one feminist piped up, hey, all these protocols, they sound like they're patriarchal. She didn't say patriarchal. She said, these things are things that men do. These are not things that women do. And I was like, tell me more, versus, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, tell me more. So she told me all these things, and I was listening motivationally. Oh, is that tip number 6? Yes, motivational listening, motivational reading. I listened to all her complaints. She had like about 20 of them, because I kept on going, do you have more? She's like, yeah, I have more. Do you have more? Do you have more? Do you have more? I wanted to hear 0 of this shit. I wanted to hear 0, because she was a non-doer, non-connector, non-entrepreneur coming into my entrepreneurship lecture telling me that my advice or my thesis, my theorem, not a thesis, a theorem, was only for men. So I had her walk me through what her antithesis was. And guess what I learned at the end of taking notes on her peeing on my parade? Guess what I learned? I learned that women, her brand of women, and her excuses were exactly what Chinese men think about entrepreneurship. 1, there's more successful people than me that are dumber than me. Oh? 2, women excuses. There's a secret boys club. There's a secret boys club, and I'm not a part of it. This is also what Chinese men think. And on down the list of, oh my God. Because the first couple were like just generic, like, oh, statistically, there's fewer Chinese men in entrepreneurship than there is for traditional men in Caucasian men in entrepreneurship. She literally had the basics. But I wrote them all down, and that's what got me a literal PhD thesis published at HBS, my safety college. So we are going to take 2 books with my giant IQ of 488, and we're only going to use 88 of those IQ points. We're only going to use 88 of those IQ points because this is a glorified book report. You could have done this when you were in 7th grade. You could have done this if you didn't spend all your time trying to get into Stanford University because you would have done a lemonade stand business. We're finally going to do a lemonade stand business. And let's say you go to Columbia Engineering and you're like, oh, hey, Larry, I'm from Columbia. I love Steve Blank. Well, we're now going to do something that is incredibly street smart, right on brand with my channel, called What They Don't Teach You in School. Psycho Sundays. Who loves Jesus? I do. Do I care if you go to church? Maybe just be curious about it. Who cares? Book report. As if we're going to a Bible study, but instead of a Bible study that we're doing either on Thursday or Tuesday, the one on Wednesday is actually better, but it conflicts with my open basketball. So I'll just do Bible study here for these 2 milliseconds. Do you like how I'm using this video as a truancy excuse for me not going to Bible study this week? I think that's hilarious. We're doing a book report. We're doing a lemonade stand business. None of these things should intimidate you. And please get a pen. Comment that you have a pen. Comment that you have a pen so that way I'll feel better about you becoming better after you watch this video the second time. Let's watch this video a third time, this first time. Did I just accidentally go over PQRST? Yeah. Preview, question, read, summarize, test. Hydrate. It is important that you get 2 copies of the same $5 book. That is applicable to your shiitake. If you're in entrepreneurship, I recommend 4 Steps to the Epiphany, but it costs like $30 used. I am the guy who artificially manipulated the price higher because I don't want Steve Blank's book to be selling for $5. I don't. Did I do the same thing as a life hacker for my mentor's book at New York Fashion Week? Fuck yeah. Thank you. So I'm going to read this aloud because this is mint. This is on brand and perfect for this. For sure, you're a highly intelligent guy and you have great insight. If the arrogant level was toned down, you might have more viewers. Have a great day. So what we're looking at is specifically the ratio of value plus the confidence. If those ratios are out of sync, then you can say that I'm arrogant. But it turns out I am way too humble, which is why I don't have subscribers, because I aw shucksed and tried to mitigate and minimize my channel and my content. I'm now out of my closet. Hey, if LGBT people can be happily exiting the closet, why can't I with my confidence and my prep? Because I'm literally about to take $10 and turn it into $3,000. There is no other person anywhere on YouTube that does anything that approaches this except for maybe my mentee, Tim Ferriss, okay? What did he do with his Princeton master's degree? He dumbed that shit down and he talks about the 5-hour work week, the 4-hour work week, the 3-hour work week. He is right at the cusp of helping you do a true 4-hour work week while he's working 80 hours a week. And so it's not arrogance. It's not do you like how I'm managing myself, my Instafeed? It's not hubris. It's not It's not me bragging. Braggadocio. I think it's Italian for bragging. It's a genuine energy that helps us focus on 2 books. You buy these books and you go to your local coffee shop. This is your first rep. I want every video to stand alone on its own without paid placement, without follow-on video, without anything other than your pen and this video. And if that's a cockiness, what is cockiness? Cockiness is inserting yourself into a money stream. That's what it also means to be cocky. And if you're talking about sunrise, okay, that's morning wood. And instead of morning wood going into, it's just Larry Chang. If that morning wood is turning into, oh, I want to go sleep with something, okay, you're probably not going to sleep with anything because you can't direct your sexual energy into something productive, which is what we're doing with this Bible study. Oh my God. Next Sunday, I should do a Bible study. Oh, that's so arrogant and cocky. My mentor literally was up on a cross selling ideas. What the F are you doing? Like, what kind of show off is literally in the midst of getting crucified saying positive shit about hanging out? Hashtag obnoxious. Hashtag obnoxious. Hashtag obnoxious. Oh, am I obnoxious? I don't think I'm being obnoxious enough. Let's go. Let's go. Jeff Slutsky. Basics. A rep. A repetition. Please grab a pen, because how I met Jeff Slutsky is how you're going to level up in your career. And you will never forget who Larry Chang is, because this is the first video you've ever watched where you took action. Think of this as not day one of your new life. Think of this as video one moving ahead. Think of this as, oh my God, that Chinese guy who's a white guy was not super cocky and arrogant. That guy is a magician. I read the book, How to Get Clients, and I got clients. The reason that's funny is later in Scottsdale, Arizona, I meet Jeff Slutsky. You can't forget that name, Jeff Slutsky. Come on. I didn't even ask him the cliche question of, hey, is that your real name? I was like, hey, can you expand on chapter 4 where I'm pretending to be old in order to get old people to buy from me? Like, did you do that? Or did you have to do that? Or tell me more about that. And he's like, oh, and he had made the joke, you're one of the people who bought my book and read it. I was like, ha ha ha, you're funny. Did you fly in from Ohio? He's like, wow, you know that I'm from Ohio? This is how you read a book to control the author. Am I manipulating the author? Is the Vagina Whisperer manipulating women? Is the Vagina Whisperer reading a book at a level of book reading that you could benefit from? Am I manipulating Warren Buffett? Am I manipulating Stephen Blank? Who do I first manhandle and wrangle? Cowboy pun intended. Myself. I have to read your boring ass book and pretend like it's the most genius thing I've ever read. Do you see how step one, manipulate yourself? 2 books. Let's go over a simple rep. That was a PhD rep. Let's go over a simple rep. You read a book, Joe Dispenza. Let's move away from business and let's go into female-friendly books of Joe Dispenza. Why do you like Joe Dispenza? Because he's selling me a $5,000 workshop that rich people rave about going to, and then they post that shit on Insta. This is how to go for free. Joe Dispenza. He wrote 3 books. Evolve Your Brain, Breaking the Habit of Being You, Becoming Supernatural. You're going to take 2 books to a coffee shop that are 2 Joe Dispenza books. And you're going to lay them on your coffee table at a coffee shop. What people are going to do is they're going to ask you, hey, is that your book? Because what normal person has no computer, no phone, and 2 books? What person does that? No person does that, except for crazy awesome people such as you. You're doing that. What happens from there is you're starting an avalanche. You just don't realize it. And I know that I've been setting this up a lot, but now we're going to staccato burst into exactly what tip number 13 is by recapping tips number 10, 4, and 2. Because maybe you just got here. This is the crux of the video. Grab a pen. You're at a coffee shop with 2 books. You don't touch your phone. You don't touch your computer. You're sitting there waiting for hot women to cold open you. Because they look at your book and then they look at you. You don't even need to be wearing a cowboy hat. You can just sit there. You can just sit there. If you are wearing a cowboy hat, that could help you or hurt you. I don't know, okay? Because it's a snowball rolling down a hill. Is there even a cowboy hat in there? I don't even know, okay? People will look and stare at your book, or they'll just stand near you and look at the book and be like, are you interested in my book? This is the whopper. You can actually sell them a $5 book for $200. What? Yes. Yes. I told you this is about to get crazy. Let's get crazy. Comment if you want for this stuff to get crazy. With this book, what interests you about this book's cover? All you're doing with the book is it's a conversation starter. You don't want to do one person, one book. That's actually hard because then people kind of don't want to interrupt you because they treat your book like it's a phone in front of your face. They treat your book like it's a laptop in front of your face of don't talk to me. They treat your laptop like it's a headset, and you're saying, oh, don't talk to me. But if you got a sign, it's basically like having a sign in a coffee shop. It's like having a sign in a coffee shop. It's like having a sign in a coffee shop where it's come talk to me. People will try to knock you down in the same way that this YouTube video has had people try to derail you. They'll be negative and they'll say something like, "Oh, is that your book? Me? Oh, I'm not Joe Dispenza, but have you heard of this book before?" Most people will just come up to you and already be pre-sold. So 99% of your work is actually already done if you just show up with 2 books. This is the whopper. This is the I can't believe that this actually works every time, 97% of the time. Let's say you're doing this at a conference where one of the speakers has a book that nobody bought. If you do this in the hotel lobby or across the street from the convention center, it's a slam dunk. Let me give you an example for the future. If I give you a past example, you'll just be like, "Oh, Larry, he's awesome, he's arrogant, and he's got a lot of confidence." I'm not arrogant because I have a lot of confidence. I'm confident because I have a lot of work. This will be a future proof of work. Let's say you don't have any Bitcoin and you want 1 Bitcoin that you make, right? Because each Bitcoin is going to be worth $3 million. Right now it costs under $200,000. This is how we're going to get you 1 Bitcoin. You go to Las Vegas. But before you go to Las Vegas, you do a book club. What book are you promoting? Michael Saylor, The Mobile Wave. Boom! You don't even need to go to Las Vegas. That happens May 26th to May 28th. But that costs $800. Do you have $800 to invest? You do? Well, save it, because you just need to buy a $10 book called The Mobile Wave. Extra credit if you buy 2 of them. You can probably buy them used for less than $5. So you take the book, The Mobile Wave, to your local coffee shop, and some Bitcoin billionaire is going to be like, "I know Michael Saylor." Done. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Can you see this? The Mobile Wave was written by Michael Saylor. Guess who wrote the foreword for this book, The Bitcoin Standard? Oh, this book's not the Bitcoin Standard? This book's the Fiat Standard? Oh, okay. Well, Michael Saylor wrote the foreword for Safedine Amou's book, The Fiat Standard. I brought this book to Omaha, Nebraska for the college baseball World Series, and being prepared paid for my trip. How are you going to go to Las Vegas for free for Bitcoin Las Vegas? This is how. This is tip number 13C, which is applying tip number 13. Initially, we did South by Southwest. Then we did a coffee shop, 13B. This is 13C. How to use Michael Saylor's Mobile Wave for us to go to Las Vegas, May 26th to 28th for Bitcoin Las Vegas 2025. You can use this for any conference because this works every time, 98% of the time. You're going to get 2 books. The Mobile Wave. The Mobile Wave is a prequel to the Bitcoin Wave. When will Michael Saylor write the book, The Bitcoin Wave? I don't know. What I do know is that you can help him assemble the Bitcoin Wave by taking remnant articles and interviews that he's appeared in and assembling them into similar chapters of the Mobile Wave. If you're a Bitcoin billionaire, which there are a ton, because you can make a lot of money when you buy something for under $180,000 and it becomes $3 million. That's just the math. Is that arrogant? No, that's just how money works. And it doesn't take money to make money. Tip number 13C is incredibly specific, which is we are going to... Why is it when I put on a baseball hat, I always want to adjust my balls? I think it's just a mind-body connection. Oh, my twig and giggle berries have room to breathe as I'm commando. No baseball hat. Being incredibly specific, it works like this. The said conference, getting into specifics, is Bitcoin Las Vegas, May 26 to May 28, 2025. That barrier to entry is at least an $800 ticket or an airplane ticket. This is what we want to do in our city before that, so that way we knowledge activate the Larry Chang truth of it does not take money to make money. So the Mobile Wave, we're going to go to our local coffee shop next Saturday, Psycho Saturday, and we are going to have 2 copies of the book as if they are Joe Dispenza's 2 books, as if they are Jeff Slutsky's 2 books. Jeff Slutsky's 2 books. So we then take those 2 books and we get people to cold open us. What are we doing? We are selling a $5 book for $200. Why would anybody want to buy a $200 book? That's a great question, because I'm literally selling, not me, this is you talking. I'm literally selling you a $200 book. Larry Chang will never sell you anything, but this is how you sell your first thing. Tip number 13D of the 13 tips for what they don't teach you in school. 13 tips. So you're selling a book that you bought for $5 for $200. This is how you specifically do it. You use a reverse rebate model. Do you see how this stuff is so common sense, but it's organized in a way that is genius? And I mean genius. And I'm not meaning Larry Chang is a genius. I'm meaning the guy who helped me become smart, Mark McCormack, is a genius. It's the Mark McCormack reverse rebate model. But to you, it's the Larry Chang reverse rebate model because you might mess it up. This is how to not mess it up, which is, that way you can blame Larry Chang, you don't blame Mark McCormack. This is how to not mess it up. Yeah, I'm charging you $200 for Jeff Slutsky's book. Are you in? What? No, it's too much money. I could have just bought that on Amazon. Yeah, you could have bought it for $5, and one day you'll read it. One day you'll use it. When was the last time you read a book past chapter 2? Why do you gotta come at me like that, bro? You're the one who asked me if I wrote the book, How to Get Clients. You said you were interested in the book, How to Get Clients, because you wanted to get clients. And so now I'm asking you, how long is it going to take for you to read that book? Or pay me $200 and we can study buddy that book. Boom! Study buddy? What do you mean study buddy? Well, if you read 2 chapters of that book and post to social media how you read a chapter and then executed a chapter, I will give you $100 back until you get your $200 back. In essence, I'm buying you your book, but I'm making you put skin in the game. Do you see how you win at entrepreneurship while you sell your first thing, while you sell Michael Saylor's book, The Mobile Wave? What happens is magical when you force close one person. What happens is beyond magical when you feel the confidence in being able to sell anything to anybody. What happens when you are your own snowball rolling down a hill is you realize that selling your first 2 things is the most amazing thing that you can do for your business. In the same way that that previous songwriter had never sold a song that got input into a movie trailer, this is how, well, we'll go over that example next time he's on, where we can sell our first book. What we're doing at book club before Bitcoin Las Vegas is we're doing something in our home city for under some single digit number of dollars, basically $0, because this is how the snowball rolls down the hill via 2 hashtags. Remember, you guys are the ones that said Bitcoin Las Vegas. This is Bitcoin Las Vegas. Hashtag EUTWMPPM. Did this video just get complicated? Yeah. Did you get a pen? I hope you did. I really hope you did. But if you didn't, that's okay. Boom. Boom. Screenshot and you're welcome. Because there's another hashtag, which is the Michael Saylor hashtag for Mobile Wave. You add one more M to the end of that EUTWMPPM. M. 2 M's. I hope you caught that as a screenshot. That paid for your trip to Las Vegas. Why? Because I laid out a treasure map of things, because this shit is just another rep. It's not an arrogance in skill. It's the repetition of repeating. It's not overconfidence from a person talking trash. In fact, when you say, I'm sure you're highly intelligent and have great insight. If the arrogant level was just toned down, you might have more viewers. Have a great day. You don't see that it's proof of work, and that comment tells me that you have 0 Chinese friends. And I'm not saying go get a Chinese friend, but the way that Chinese people talk trash and the way that Caucasian people and black people talk trash, totally different. Totally different levels. And so getting specific into Bitcoin Las Vegas, that was cool. Let's go into music festivals and South by Southwest, because you're a singer-songwriter and you've never sold a song for $202. Let's do that. So you're going to go to a coffee shop and you're going to have 2 books on music that are going to identify you as a musician with 2 books. The music industry business Bible is actually kind of an expensive book, but you can just find one used or whatever. You are going to pre-roll whatever city you're in. Let's say you're in Nashville. You're going to pre-roll the South by event, which is in middle March, I want to say, you look it up. You said South by, I didn't. And you do an event in January that's at a coffee shop. And then the next event that you do is critical because it's easy to forget to do it because you're just like, oh, I don't need to do it. It'll just be done magically for me. Yeah, no. The second event that you do is the we are musicians planning to go to South by event in early February that precurses March. And so all we're doing is getting our snowball going with a Luma event, with an Eventbrite event, with some event RSVP site where we're selling $20 tickets. And the first 50 people that buy a ticket, they get their $20 when they show up. Is this the same model that we used for selling the book? Yes. The Mark McCormack reverse rebate model, which you don't get because you have to use the Larry Chang reverse rebate model, because if you mess it up, then you messed up the Larry Chang reverse rebate model. You didn't mess up my mentor's reverse rebate model. This is how the ticketing works. You sell a ticket for $20, and if they show up at the party, they get their $20 back. The next batch of tickets, after the first batch sells out, those tickets are $30. But with the $30 ticket, you tell people a discount code for 50% off. Now they're buying a $15 ticket, thankful that they saved money for the $20 ticket. That's a 50% discount at the $30 ticket. The next level of tickets is a $50 ticket, which has a 50% discount code, the same 50% discount code. The last batch of tickets is we're sold out. There are no tickets available unless you sponsor this event for $80. That's how you ratchet up and pay for your trip to an event prior to that event, by priming the pump of nobody's going to buy anything from me. But then you offer rebates and value because you're helping people read ahead in the book. And do you like how tip number 13E is exactly the culmination for tips 1 through 13, which is how do I help people read ahead? How do I help forecast the doom and gloom that is hyperinflation in the United States of America? How do I help people read ahead for a music festival where most of the musicians are starving artists? How do I help people read ahead in a book where last year they read no books? How do I help people move ahead in life by selling 2 books that they have memorized chapters 1 through 14 on? What to pay attention to, how things might turn out, what to expect. Those questions are incredibly valuable, and the repetition of this video is this will be the first video that you rewatch, execute, cut via YouTube collaboration, which will be open when it's done compressing, and you get to recut this video, amplifying, I heard what Larry Chang said. That's me. Hi, nice to meet you. I connected with what he was talking about because this is the 5th time I was told this, and I was able to move ahead and financially benefit even though I spent $0. That's the goal of the 13 tips in this 27th day of Christmas.